Hey everyone, my name is Kaleb Nekumanesh. I was a world designer at 343 Industries and I worked on Halo Infinite's campaign. I want to just kind of walk through the design of this POI. I was basically assigned to create a location of interest where the player would have to complete a platforming challenge. This is at a time where we didn't really understand the mechanics behind the grapple hook. It's very possible the player did not have one or it was very limited at this time. One of the big design goals was to have our POIs accessible from many different vectors, but basically give players a unique experience for each one. The other interesting thing here was that I really wanted to tell a story about what what interesting gameplay opportunities could arise from the idea that these hexes are being pushed apart by this explosion event. If the player is following the golden path, we know that they would most likely see this entrance right here, which is the canyon entrance, which is guarded by a random encounter, and usually it will give them access to some weapons that they could use. They could use the backside of this, where they would find the natural path created from the rock slide event. And then there is also a rear path. So if you came from Prison Island, you might find this direct route up the top of the mountain. Another likely point of entry is the south side, where you would find a route that leads up to the top of the mountain, or you could find a cave and it would see that there is a warthog just kind of laying there to guide the eye and tell a little bit of a story. Every marine event I try to tell some sort of story along with it. Regardless if it makes it into the final game, I want to have some sort of narrative that's kind of driving this POI. Why is it here? What is it designed for? So I created this story where the Marines, were being pursued by Banished, or they were, just about to get caught, and they found this cave. So they went, they parked, they got out of their vehicle pretty quickly, and then they jumped into the cave. They hid in that cave for a substantial period of time until the Banished found them. They had a big fight inside of this cave arena that you find here. You can find some remnants from the Marines, you can find a Spartan Corps, and you can find remnants of this battle, including an energy sword that might help you in these close quarters environment. One of the Marines stayed back and took a sniping position and tried to rescue his fellow Marines, unfortunately dying where he lies. The Marines continue up the cave trying to escape and make it all the way to the top of the mountain where they are when Master Chief arrives. As soon as you enter the cave, there is a very clear picture of the ring, and also another level that I did world design on. Then you will get into the arenas. The first arena is the player's approach, the one that they will most likely encounter if they go on any of the paths that have been designed. This creates opportunities for the player to take cover behind terrain, behind exit walls, and there's a lot of sightline occluders to basically allow the player to hide in specific ways. One thing that was taught to me is when playtesting my level, I stop every few seconds when playtesting and ask myself, do I understand where to go just by taking this frame here? As the player approaches the top of the mountain, you can see where the snipers take hold, and you can see that they have a very clear sight line all the way down the mountain. But also you notice that there's very little cover for them to take, so the player can find them and very easily take them out if they're causing problems. And then finally, as the player reaches the top of the mountain, you see that there are some Marines in the gameplay. There's some phantoms that fly overhead, and you have to survive essentially 2 waves of enemies. So we wanted to make sure that there's a lot of cover, a lot of options for the player to take cover. After you complete it, you get a very nice view of the vista, and you can decide what to do next. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been informative. I'm not really sure if I'm going to do more of these, but I do have a potential plan of doing them for all of the other POIs I built. If you'd like to see those, please let me know, and I hope you guys have a great day.